Hi everyone, welcome back in the second part of me building a landing page or a modern landing page for the project for a project manager. So for those of you who just clicked on this video, I highly recommend watching the first video of the project. So this is the second part of the video. So first I want to show you what I built and what we are currently building. So this is the landing page. So we have this floating nav bar. So when I scroll down, we have this beautiful hero section, and this is the dashboard of the project manager. So it's a project that I built for about 1 year ago, and you can find it in my YouTube channel. So this is the dashboard, and it's a real project. So I decided to build a modern landing page for this project. So I already built a landing page for the project, but it was very simple. So next we have the customer section, and also I want to point this out, like the information or most of the information in the landing page are made up. Like this landing page or this dashboard is real, but the other information are just made up just for the sake of building this landing page. Then we have the process or how it works section. I'm using this Bento grid, and all of the images that you are seeing right now are real from the project. And also you can find down below in the description the link to the project if you want to learn more about this project. And then we have how it works section with this progress component. Then we have the plugin section. Then we have the pricing section. Again, all of these are made up because I'm not providing any pricing in the project. Then we have the questions section, and we have the testimonials and the newsletter, and finally we have the footer section. And also along with so we are what I'm doing is I'm using this website called ballstack.dev. So it is a website that I built to be able to create UIs a lot faster. So what I'm providing here, the UI components. So I think that there is something wrong with my internet connection. So it is taking a bit of time to load the website. So the website currently working, and this is the actual website. And if we go to the blogs page, as you can see, I'm providing many components that we're going to be using in this landing page to be able to build landing pages or UI elements or design a lot faster. But also I'm providing many sections like the authentication and also the dashboard section. We have so many components that I used recently in my latest project where I'm building full stack project, and I used massively some of the components in the dashboard section, and it saved a lot of time. So I put a lot of time building the components, and I make them reusable so I can be able to save time later on in the future. So this is the introduction of this video. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna continue working on our project. So if I open up a new tab and I access to the local 3000, so I'm already opening VS Code with the project, and also running the server. And as you can see, I have some errors because in the Next.js boilerplate code, what I'm doing, I'm providing drizzle and next auth, and I need to provide the env variable. So that's why I'm having these errors, but we are going to fix them in the future. So if we go back to the local 3000, and so this is where we stopped. We stopped at the customer section. So now what we're going to be doing, so if we go back to our final project, so we need to add this section, and this is what we are going to start doing. So the first thing that we're going to be doing to build this section, so we're going to go back to ballstack.div, and then we're going to go to the how it works section. So we're going to click on the how it works to access to all the components in this. So currently I created the three components. So this is basically the section that we're going to be using for the how it works. So this is the how it works too. But what I'm going to do here, I'm going to use this section to be able to build this. And if we go back to the final product, so we're going to be using it to be able to create this one. So it is under the how it works section or route, and it is the third component. So what I'm going to do now, and also you can access to the code if you want to before you copy it or you download it. So I'm going to click on download component, and so I'm going to go right into the components folder of the project because I've already done it for the other components. So Windows will save this, and I'm going to save this inside this components folder. So that's why I'm providing this feature to download the component without having to copy it and go back to the VS Code or your IDE and create a new file and then paste the code. So after we added the component in our project, so as you can see, so this is the new file here. So inside the features section, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid from all of the previous code. So this code you will get from using the Next.js boilerplate generator that I'm providing in ballstack.div. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get rid from all of these elements, and I'm going to import the how it works component that we just added. And because this feature section functional component is called in the page.csx, so if I save the file, so I've already saved the file, and if we go back to our project, so let's reload the page to see the new element and the landing page. So as you can see, this is the component that we just added. So this is the default visual from the component as we have in the preview. So what we're going to do here, we are going to use the prompts. So if we go back to the code here, so as you can see in the component, oh, I'm going to go inside the VS Code just to see things clearly with the color. And so if we go to the how it works prompt, so these are the prompts that we're going to be using to customize our component and to make it look like this. So the first thing that I'm going to do, uh, I'm going to add or paste the data structure that we're going to be using inside the steps array. So inside the how it works 3 section, we have this steps property. So this is the definition of each step, and this is the default step array that I'm using inside the component once you use it for the first time. So the array or each object should follow the structure that we are defining in the step interface. So to save a bit of time, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to paste the new array that I used, and of course I need to import the step interface from the component. So I think that I need to add the export keyword, which is something that I forgot to do, and then we can be able to import the step interface from the component. So after this, what I'm going to do, I'm going to call this features or assign it to the stops or the steps prompt in the component. So I'm going to save the file, and if we go back to our project or to the landing page, as you can see, the new data has been added in each object. Eventually, we need to add the images, which is the last thing that I'm going to do. And then we need to update the heading and the description or the subheading. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back to the source code or to the file. So in the how it works component, also we have the title and the subtitle. And so each title has the title has is defined this way. So it's an object of text that has the type string or React node and the class name. And the same for the subtitle. So what I'm going to do here, so I want to first show you the structure or the definition of each prop before I paste the code. So this is the feature title. So that's why I put the title property as, or the text as strict React node, so we can be able to add tags or components, and just to make the hidden a lot more dynamic and more appealing rather than just using a simple string. So we have the h1 tag with all of these utility classes, and then we have two words managing project has, and the other phrase or two phrases, it's another span because that's gonna have another color. So, and finally we have the feature subtitle, so it's gonna be a simple text or text. And what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna call this or assign all of these variables with the prompts from the how it works 3 component. So I'm gonna assign the feature title section, and also I'm going to, but first, as I need, so since the title is an object, so I need to add an object and then assign the features title section to the text property. So I forgot doing this, so that's why I had this error. And this is the good thing about TypeScript, so it's going to throw errors at runtime, because TypeScript found that you didn't follow the structure that you set in the how it works 3 component. And then I'm going to use the other prompt called subtitle, and simply I'm going to assign the feature subtitle with the subtitle. And I did the same mistake again. So I need to use this object and use the text property and then assign the feature subtitle. So now if we go back to our landing page, as you can see, now it looks a lot cooler, and we have the new data rendering in our Benito or Bento grid. So, and one last thing that I'm going to do is I'm gonna add some utility classes in the class name of the how it works 3 component, and also I need to add the images to be able to show them in each card. So after we added successfully this section in our landing page, so the next component that we're going to be adding, if we go back to our final product, is this how it works section. So we already saw this component because um, the previous component, we used the how it works 3 component. So this is the component that we used. And now we're going to use this component. So we use this component for the features section. And now we're going to use this component for the how it works section. So this is the component. As you can see, you can access to the code if you want to. So this component, so just think about the time that we'll save if you want to build this component from scratch, or any component that you want to build. You can just copy and paste, and you can do the modification if you want to, like to add some of the things or modify some of the things that you want based on the project that you are building. So this is a time saver, and this is what I'm trying to do with this poststack.dev website. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to download this component as I did for the previous component. So I'm going to click on download, and then I'm going to save it in this components folder. So after I've done this, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it how it works section, like this. And inside this folder, I'm going to create another component or another file called how it works section. So I'm going to create a boilerplate empty component. So I'm going to rename the functional component like this, and then I'm going to call how it works to components, and then I'm going to call the how it works section component and the page.jsx where we are rendering our landing page. So under the feature section, I'm going to call how it works section this way. So we should see our new component. So if we go back to the local 3000, so I'm going to reload the page to see the new update or the new component that I just added. So it's going to take a lot of while because my computer is a bit slow. And as you can see, so this is the component right off the bat. So as you can see, we are using the another color because we're using Shadcn. So so we're gonna all the components that I'm using the text primary class name just to be able to uh, extract the color from Shadcn rather than creating my own colors, so which is something that I think is a time saver. So once we have the component has been added, so the only thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add the new array because if we go back to our code, it's better to go to the VS Code just to see things clearly with the colors and other things. And here in the how it works prompt, as you can see, we have uh, the same blueprint. So we're using the steps array, and it's going to be slightly different than the other one when it comes to the interface because the design is a little bit different. So this is what we're going to do. So we're going to go back to the how it works section, and here I'm going to paste the array just to save time, and then we're going to assign the new array to the steps prompt of the how it works to component. So I paste the new data that we're going to be using in our component, and also I imported all the necessary icons from React or Lucid React component, and also we have the hidden text and the sub-hidden text. So the hidden text, as I did for the previous component, so it's going to be an h1 tag and span tags within the h1 tag. And finally, we have the sub-hidden text variable of which is a simple string. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to assign each variable or each element inside the prompt. So the steps, it's going to be assigned to the how it works step or steps variable. So then we have the title, which is an object of type, and we have the property text, and we're going to assign it to the hidden text. And then finally we have the um, the description variable or object, and then we are going to assign the text to the subhidden or the text to the subhidden variable. So I'm going to save the file. Let's go back to the landing page to see if everything is working fine. So as you can see, all the elements has been added successfully in our component, and we are done with this component. So think about how much time we will save by just using or reusing this component, and you can use it and reuse it in other future projects, which is a time saver. So just building this landing page, yes, it took me quite a while to build all of these components. Eventually, I'm using AI, and with my experience, I can guide the AI to create these components a lot faster. And also, I need to do some modifications and updates. I need to sometimes restructure the whole component so I can get the result that I want. And the experience and the skills that you learned from building a lot of components is very important. So you don't want the AI to do all of the things because most of the time you will not get the results that you want. So yes, it's gonna take me a lot of time upfront, but in the future, it's gonna be a time saver because I can reuse this component for many projects ahead. So now we completed our section. So the next section that we're gonna be adding is this blogging section. And again, if we go back to the website, and if we go to the blog section, so we have the blog post section. Right now, currently, I have just 4 components. So I'm going to access to the component or to the page. So as you can see, so these are the components that I built so far, and we're going to be using this blog post section for. And this is what we are going to start doing for in the next part. So now let's start adding this blog post section in our landing page. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to download the component as I did for the other components, and I'm going to save it inside the components folder of the project. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new folder here under the homepage components, and I'm going to call it blog post section folder. And then I'm going to create a new file here, blog post section.tsx. I'm going to create an empty component, blog post section. Then I'm going to call the new component that I just added, blog post section 4, like this. So I'm going to add the class name of the blog post section 4 component. So inside the component, if we look inside the component, and specifically if we look to inside the blog post section 4 prompt, so this is the main prompt of the component. So we have the section ID, again, the title, the posts or the post array, the class name. So the class name of the prompt that we just used, it's going to be linked to the main section tag of the component. So whatever that we are using in the in here. So it's going to override the class name or the utility classes that we use in the main component, specifically in the section tag. So I want to, add this. So, and then I'm going to import the blog post section in the main page, which is the page.tsx. So under the how it works section, I'm going to call the blog post section. So I'm going to save the file, and then let's go back uh, to our landing page, and I'm going to reload the page to see the new component. And as you can see, so this is the component as it is previewed in ballstack.dev. So the only thing that we need to do, as I did for the other component, is to update the data so it fits the theme of our project, which is the project manager application. So let's go back to the project. And I'm going to go to the blog post section here. And as I did for the other components, so I'm going to paste the data structure or the array that we're going to be using, and then need to import the postcard prompts from the components. So one of the things that I want to make sure that our project is safe, so I'm going to use these interfaces that I'm creating in the components or every component that I'm building. So when I'm creating the array, especially when it comes to the arrays, because it's a bit complex to when it comes to the data structure. So using TypeScript and using these interfaces, you want to make sure that you are following the structure that you set for the components, so to avoid having not having any issues. So this is the whole component or the whole array. So we have each object, the structure, the title, the description, the image, and the URL link. And then I'm going to post or link the postcards array with the prompt that I'm providing in the component, which is the post array. So I'm going to assign it to the postcards array. So right off the bat, after doing this, if we go back to our project, so we should see different images, but also different text and subtext as well. Then what I'm going to do, and which is the thing that I've already done, so I'm going to assign the hidden text with the title property, which is an object that has the text property. And also it has the class name. So if you want to style even further the title, you can use the class name inside the object. And I'm going to assign it as I did for the other components, the hidden text. So the error is because I think that the title text, and this is something that I need to update in the project. So the title is of type string. So because I'm using a component which is of type React Node, so I need to add the React Node type and make this text property as a union type that it could accept the string or the React Node. So as you can see, the error is gone. So if I save the file, so let's go back to the project. So as you can see, this is the new hidden has been added in the updated in the landing page. And now we're going to update the description on the subhidden and the feature. And notice right now, finally, we have or we're having the background color So the reason for this is because this wasn't applied successfully because of character that has been added uh, uh, in here. So once I got rid of this, it worked. So that's why the class name wasn't applied from the parent component. So if we go back to the blog post section, so the last prompts that I'm going to add are these. So the feature badge. So the feature badge prompt is a type or is an object that has the main text and the second text, and we have the description. So if we save the file, so as you can see, we have our blog post section. Um, and also another thing that I did mention, so also it accepts the dark mode. So as you can see, when I turn the dark mode on, so we have the background color like this is because if we go to the class name, so we're gonna use the dark. So when the dark is on, so we're going to use the background neutral. So this is the color that we have in here. So as you can see, we've been able to build successfully and rapidly the blog post section. And again, guys, all of these components that I'm providing in this website are completely for free to use. So we are done with this section. So the section or the next section that I'm going to be adding is the pricing section. So we're going to follow the same principle. We're going to go back to the ballstack.dev. So here, I'm going to go to the pricing section. So this is the pricing section. And if we go all the way down, so this is the component, so the pricing three component, and also we have other three components. So this is the last component that I currently added. So this day I added this component. So I'm trying every single day to add new components and enrich my project and also add more options to the user and also for me to build many projects and make things a lot simpler for me in the future. So the next section, as I said, we're going to be building the pricing section based on this component. So now let's start adding our pricing section as we did for the other components again. We are going to download this component in our project, specifically under the components folder. And then I'm going to save the file. So let's go back to our project and I'm going to create a new folder here. So I'm going to call it pricing section and I'm going to create a new file called pricing section.tsx like this. And then I'm going to create a new empty component. I'm going to rename the functional component. And then I'm going to call uh, pricing section 3 component. And finally, I'm going to go to the main route, which is the page.tsx, and under the blog post section, I'm going to call pricing section. So I'm going to save the file. Let's go back to the local host 3000. I'm going to reload the page to see the new component and then under the blog post or productivity articles section. So this is the section has been added successfully. So as in the preview, we have two plans. So eventually we are going to update all the elements as we did for the other component. So let's go back to VS Code. So let me close some of the tabs here just to make things a bit cleaner. So I'm gonna So I'm gonna keep, of course, um, the pricing section.jsx. So the first thing that I'm gonna do, first I want to just show you very quickly what is the structure of the prompts inside this component. So as you can see, it it's a bit heavy as a component. So this is the main interface, the section ID, the plans, the class name. So we have the patch, which is responsible for this section, and then the main hidden, the sub hidden. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to paste all the data that we're going to be using for this component. So this is the data structure. So the first thing that I need to do, I need to import the price and plan interface. So first, let's add the export keyword to be able to import the pricing plan interface from the pricing 3 component. And also I'm going to import the the icons. So it has been imported from React icons, and also I'm going to import the star component or icon, and also I'm going to import the bolt icon. And here we have also the main hidden as I did for the other components. So all you have to do is to assign these variables with the prompts that are in the pricing section 3. So the first prompt that I'm going to be using is the plans. So I'm going to assign it to the updated plans array, or the new array that we want to show inside our landing page. And then we have the main heading, and the main heading is an object that has the text property, and I'm going to assign it to the main hidden constant. So let's check if everything is working fine. So if we go back to the browser, so as you can see, our data has been rendered successfully in our landing page. Of course, I need to add to update the class name, and also I need to update. I think I need to update the subhidden as well, and this is what I'm going to do. So let's go back to the source code, and I'm gonna paste these prompts. So we have the batch and the subhidden to be able to update uh, the batch, and also to update the subhidden. And also I'm going to add a little bit of margin at the top because we have a tight space between the pricing section and the upper section. So now if we go back to the landing page, so as you can see, our batch feature or section has been updated, but also the sub hidden has been updated. And also we have a little bit of gap between this section and the blog section. And also if we turn the dark mode on, just to make sure that the colors also are good for the dark mode, as you can see, everything is working fine. So now we continued the pricing section. So if we go back to the final product, so we're gonna use, or we're gonna add the question section. So this part is part of this component. So we have the testimonials, and finally we have the newsletter and the footer section that need to be added to be able to complete the landing page. So now let's add these components first.